It has nothing to do with any of the countries, any of the situation. It's Trump.
You're
Most
absolutely
people,
right.
Well,
Well,
Trump's the one doing it.
Yeah,
yeah,
but
Again,
That
other
no,
presidents
that
have
no,
done the
that's
same
not the
exact
case.
thing as him, and just like the boat strikes in Venezuela, Obama did
well,
the same thing, but nobody said a word about it when he did it. But when Trump does, it's illegal.
I
Obama
can't count the number of
did
times I
not
have
drone.
called Obama the drone king. So
Yeah, first of all,
that's
the
not
drone strikes
accurate.
weren't against quote unquote drug lords. They were
Yeah, I was
literally what they
gonna
labeled
say
actual
like
terrorists. Although I had problems with his drone issues as well. You could find my old tweets about it. But the whole thing is that Obama was trying to kill terrorists, not drug lords, right?
And you don't think drug lords are terrorists?
No,
So
they're
why
drug
is a
dealers.
drug lord not a
there's a conversation to be had.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
It's highly controversial. But this is a lady from Texas. Her name is Valentina Gomez, and she is running for Congress. And she had some interesting um, viewpoints on it. I was wondering um, how we got to a point as a country where you can have certain views, but you don't use a government platform to, to do them. Would you agree, Sean?
Absolutely, man. It's just crazy that this is where we're at in politics here in America, where somebody feels so emboldened to actually come out and say some of the things that she's saying. I was actually appalled at her little soundbite that we're about to watch now. It's
Yeah,
crazy, man.
let's check it out.
Next in line. If Texas falls to Islam, it's simply because you didn't vote correctly. God bless you all.
Doesn't exist. It doesn't, I'm sure you find it funny, but I think
Vote for me so we can kick every dirty Muslim out of Texas. For me, this is just an election. But for you and your daughter, this is your life. Because Texas has only gotten more Muslim under these weak Republicans. New York City already fell to Islam. So did Michigan and Minnesota. And you're next in line. If Texas falls to Islam, it's simply because you didn't vote correctly. God bless you all.
doesn't exist. It doesn't, I'm
Wow.
It's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. I ended up watching the rest of that, and I couldn't believe the things coming out of her mouth. Like, wow. But like I said, man, it's brazen now, in my opinion, and I think we're going to see more of that going forward.
Yep.
A lot of that racism and xenophobia is back in fashion, in my opinion.
That's crazy. Well, let's bring in our panel. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
How we doing?
what up?
Well, did you guys get a chance to check out the clip there?
Oh, yeah.
So, we're gonna start off with the subject we're starting to talk about here is the ban that Trump has put on these countries to stop asylum and everything like that. Let's talk about first and foremost everybody's opinion on whether or not there's justification for this.
Absolutely. I mean, I can start off first.
Go
I
ahead.
do not. Yeah, no problem, man. So I think a lot of this is rooted in, like I said, xenophobia, and I think that the fact that it's being based on religion or race or anything like that is absolutely wrong. A couple of people that do bad in a certain community or demographic doesn't define that whole demographic at all. You know what I mean? And so, but that's what I think is being tried to. I think that's what's happening here. They're trying to say, "Hey, look, such and such did this, so we can't allow them here at all." And I think that's wrong. Collective punishment is never right, in my opinion.
So let's ask the question, right? So if you have, let's say, 50 people who do bad, isn't it justified to look at that whole percentage, that whole group, right? So let's talk about the Afghanis that were brought in, right? So let the question is, were they vetted properly?
So I
No,
mean
no,
the
no. Hold on.
okay.
The question I was asking, just to start it off, was do you think this newly imposed, do you feel like it's justified? Do you feel like he's justified in doing this? And then, I mean, we can go farther from there and stuff. I just want to know how everybody feels about the overall
Absolutely,
subject.
because the question is, was they vetted properly?
Okay, what about? Go ahead.
I will just say right off, like, no, you can't. What they're doing is, Rayshawn said, like religion, race. It goes further where they're trying to stigmatize people based on the country of origin at this point. So they've already done it with the Haitian community. We've seen this throughout history with other communities. Like, I live in an area with a like heavy Cambodian population where at one point they felt unwelcome, and now it's becoming Somalia. And you also have a lot of this, you're seeing it in Dearborn, Michigan, more to the religion point, where you have people saying like all the Muslims are ruining this place. So you are stigmatizing entire populations based on the actions, or even like the perceived actions in the case of like Somalia, of maybe a few. Somalia is very specifically because Trump doesn't like Ilhan Omar. But
correct, yeah.
That's not why he doesn't like. It's not because he doesn't like Ilhan Omar. It's because Somalia is filled with terrorists.
Okay, so we know what Jen. So we know what Jen. We know Jen. It's cool. It's justified. What about you, V, and you, Jesus? We got two more left.
Yeah, so I don't think it's justified. First of all, anytime you single out anybody from the race, the religion, any way they were born, just because they were born, you can't single out people that way. Single out people for a belief system outside of that is different. If an individual is a terrorist or they belong to an organization, that's different. But when you take a race, that's ridiculous. And the issue here is that what's weird is that you had an Afghan who worked with the CIA. That was a trigger, no pun intended. That was the trigger for this ban. Yet he's targeting 12 countries already banned, considering 36. And now he's calling Somalians garbage.
It's actually 19, so
okay.
So you got to be real. It's 19 countries that are banned.
No, I said only 12 countries are banned.
No, it's
completely.
19.
7 countries are partially banned. That's 19. That's 19 total. 12 totally banned. 7 partially banned on top of that, and 36 are being considered. A total of 36 are being considered. So there's 3 different stages there. And the point is that the way that this was all triggered was because an Afghan individual who worked with the CIA at the age of 13, by the way. This is a guy that started working with the federal government on national security issues when he was 13, back when he was just a kid, when the World Trade Center bombing happened and all of that crap. And so he obviously had emotional issues. This has nothing to do with his race. He wasn't a terrorist. I know they're ruling this a terrorist event. He's just a crazy person. That's all this is. And that triggered this event.
Okay, V.
I mean, I agree with you.
So we got you. We got V. V is not justified. Jesus, let's go. Is it justified or no?
I don't think it's justified. I think this conversation is going to be interesting. But I'll say this: when an American does something out of pocket, they're a lone wolf. When someone else does something out of pocket, the whole nationality or the whole religion of that group is the enemy. That's a problem. Right. That's a problem. That's weaponizing race. That's weaponizing culture. That's weaponizing religion. That's what America does. Like, we're good at that. We're good at weaponizing it when someone else does it. When we do it, it's one guy was crazy.
Okay.
So Charlo, hold on. You don't get off the hook. Where do you stand?
If you'd have let me talk, that's what I was
My
going to
bad.
give you. Was my opinion. My opinion. I gotta say, it is and it ain't. It's justified and it's not. But I say that with this caveat. It just depends on how you do it. Like you can't do it with the heavy hand, just all Muslims, can't come over. You can't do that. You know what I mean? But if you see that your terrorists tend to be Muslim all the time, you can use that as a kind of gauge in your vetting. But like to say because you're Muslim you can't come over, I don't think that's right.
I agree with that.
That's how I feel about it.
Here's why I think it's justified. We've had 4 years of unfettered immigration. Number one, these people were not vetted. Oh, yes, we have. Don't lie to yourself.
Didn't Trump's people vet this guy too, though?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, they reapproved him.
Let's put all the cards. Let's put all the cards on the table.
Yep, they did. They reapproved his visa. But these countries that he's talking about, like Afghanistan, they don't have the computerized like criminal system that we have over here. There's no way of us to check like we have NCIC and CODIS and all those things where we can check on people and actually see. These people live in little villages that don't even have power half the time. They don't have bathrooms. And I see Jesus laughing, but it's true.
No, I'm tracking with you. I just think this. I think Native Americans probably wish that they would have vetted.
Oh, right.
Sure
the white Europeans.
I'm sure they would have, but that's
Give you guys Thanksgiving, and in return, we're going to take it.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, to the gentlemen that don't know me, the guys that don't know me, I am a veteran. So I'm coming from a different angle here. I'm not just like some brown guy that's here. I served this country. I was born in this country. This is my country. But I'm just saying, if these are the rules, you got to start looking around and go, man, those rules are kind of funny in the light.
All right, well, let's look at what kicked it off in the first place, which was the killing of National Guardsman Sarah Beckstrom and the injury of Andrew Wolf in the attack a couple of days ago. We really don't have too much information on that, which is usually the case when they classify it as basically a terrorist act.
How do you say we don't have too much information on it? This is local to me because Andrew, some of my kids know Andrew.
Well, I just don't see. I don't see a lot of I don't like on a national level. I don't see a lot of it on the news, and I watch a lot of various channels, and I don't see
daily.
a lot.
I see it daily.
So why'd he do it?
Yeah,
they don't know. Yeah.
Did I just not say we don't have a lot of information? I mean, yeah, we know that.
I mean, we know exactly what happened. That's my point. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he shot some guardsmen, and like you can't use the fact like they've got to have more intelligence for him to even.
The thing that's
come to
bringing
you can't just you can't just say, okay, this dude was a terrorist. No more Muslims can come to the country. It's got to be something deeper than that. It's got to be. And we don't know that. We have no clue.
It's the vetting. I mean, they've talked about that multiple times about how the lack of vetting has gone on, and they admit that they did not follow up. They're supposed to, these refugees, they're supposed to go back and check in on them. And this guy was struggling really bad. I mean, he apparently.
So if you have no idea why he did it, how can you qualify him as a terrorist if you don't know why he did it?
Well, a terrorist act is something that puts
what makes it a terrorist act?
He killed somebody.
It happens every day. It's not a terrorist act.
Randomly came around the corner and shot.
And that's not. Yeah, but that's not a terrorist act.
At the moment, we
It
don't
was attack
know
on the
this
military, so I
was
guess that's
in
why
any
they.
way ideologically motivated. It seems to
No,
be
they haven't
that
said that.
they.
But
It seems to be that this person worked for us. Like he was kind of
right,
the definition of like a deep state operative, if that's a real thing. So
yep,
he
So
actually worked for us, for the
and
United
doing that
States
at
in a way.
13
And
so
yeah,
is
it was
so
like a
insane.
child
the fact
soldier
of the
for the
matter
U.S. And
is
we are,
it
the
was a
administration is using this
matter
to
of
frame it as
his friend.
ideological to stigmatize that population.
Well, I don't know
It
about
was
that.
a
I'm
fact.
hearing all about the lack of vetting because again,
But it's from both
when
sides, though, right? Like I see you're on the vetting thing, but the Trump
Mhm.
administration been in since January, and it was reported. Now I don't know because, like you said, it's closer to your home, so I don't know
Yep.
for sure. But the last I heard was the current administration also
Yep.
vetted this guy,
Right,
so they had a
They-
chance to
they
say,
renewed his visa in 2019. Is what it was. It 2019? Yeah, I think that's what it was.
I mean, the
so,
thing
so
that
But
I guess what I'm trying to get at is you're saying they. Are you including both sides, or are you just saying
yes,
like, oh,
yeah,
this other
yeah.
side let them in
No,
here?
it's on both sides. It's
Oh, okay.
yeah, the
Because
government.
I don't know
Period.
all of the details because I
Yeah,
imagine if I lived on the East Coast where it happened, I'd hear more about it. But
yeah. No, it wasn't 2019. It couldn't have been 2019. But at any rate, they recently, I think it was April or something. It was a few months ago, but they're supposed to go in the we have a lot of the Afghani refugees here in my area as well, and they set them up in houses, and they're supposed to go and do like monthly visits or quarterly visits with them and see how they're doing, make sure they've got money, they're able to sustain themselves and their families, and check on their wellness, because obviously working in any kind of war situation, you're going to have issues. And if you don't get some kind of help afterwards, it's going to cause problems. And from everything I'm hearing, this guy kept leaving and just going on random drives, doing off the wall stuff, being out of pocket with his kids. He wouldn't even pay attention to his older kids. He was only paying attention to his younger kids. And nobody ever checked on them. And they were like evicted from their house. They had all kinds of stuff going on, and he obviously lost his mind. And
so the system
it
failed
seems
us,
like he
basically.
blamed it. Yeah, and to
The
me, he
system
blamed it
failed
on
us.
the government. He blamed it on the
Does that
government.
make you a
and did what he did.
terrorist?
So
By the
to
definition of terrorism, it's a terrorist attack
To
when
be
you're
honest with
attacking your
you,
government.
if you were gonna say that, I think that the dude who supposedly shot Charlie Kirk, the dude who supposedly shot Donald Trump, those guys are more terrorists than this guy. I mean, at least he just came out in the open and let it ride. I mean,
I would agree. They're all terrorists. That's all a terrorist.
I mean,
I mean, it
the
could
definition
because what he did when he was out in the open, it isn't like he thought about like, well, let me do this and I might get away with it. He knew he wasn't getting. It was just something,
to me,
who knows?
I think I disagree with that a little bit because terrorism isn't about getting away with it. Terrorism is about terrorizing people.
making a statement.
This
Making a
dude
statement.
did target uniformed people. Whether he thought about it for 6 months or thought about it that morning, he pretty much put National Guard people, like, I'm sure people that had to go out on detail were like a little on edge when somebody gets popped. So just at the bare root of terrorism.
I mean, terrorism is about motivation, and we don't know enough about the motivation. But what we do know is that, right? So terrorism is creating a violent act for making political change, right? So we don't know that he wanted to make a political change. What there are a few things that we know: that he was angry. We know that he had a friend that wasn't allowed to come to the United States, and eventually did die in Afghanistan. We don't know if that played a part, or if that was a motivation, but we only know bits and pieces. One second, let me just finish here for a second here. So I don't think it's fair to even call this a terrorist event, because again, you have to know the motivation before you can say it's a terrorist event. The only reason why they're calling it a terrorist event is because he happens to be brown and Muslim. If he was a white guy, if it was a white military veteran, because that's what I'm calling this guy, military
CNN
veteran.
is calling him a white dude.
What?
CNN is calling him a white
No,
dude.
that is a completely different case and not this one.
No,
No,
that's
see,
the
Yeah,
pipe
let's
bomber. That's the pipe
let's not
bomber.
That was
listen
the
to
pipe.
CNN
Yeah,
anyway. But
Yeah, that was the pipe bomber on that one. They called it the pipe bomber. Jake Tapper made a mistake.
Yeah,
He came out and
but
apologized about
that
it.
yeah, that has nothing to do with this one. But the thing is, the only reason why
this is
Trump
what
has called
happened.
this a terrorist attack is because he's brown and Muslim. That's the only reason, and that's what Jesus was saying earlier, right? That basically every time we see some sort of shooting, if the shooting is a Muslim, oh, it's a terrorist attack. If it's a white guy, oh, he had mental issues. I mean, that's the problem that we've had. It's the meme. It's the Family Guy meme. The white to the brown. Who's okay? And that this is what it is. It's the meme. There's no other way to explain it. And I'm sick and tired of it. I mean, like, we're labeling what people are, whether it's a terrorist, it's a violent act, of course, but whether we have to blame their entire race because of what one person did, it's freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, those are two
Look,
separate things. Those are two separate things. Like, us thinking that this could be the only thing missing is us knowing his motivation. The rest of the things fall into terrorists. So you can at least think it's not out of pocket to think this might have been some terrorism on some level. But second point is, you can't associate everything with terrorism as automatically meaning a whole group of people. Like, if we buy into that, we're just we're all just puppets at that point. Like, we're all bought into it. That's not cool.
And that's the point I was making. The point I was making was, if we're gonna give them that label, like what makes us give them that label? Because of the repercussions that's gonna cause. If we label that a terrorist act, like if we're saying what he's doing is a terrorist act, and that's the reason why we have to enact this ban now on immigration and asylum and stuff like that, then it's justified. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's totally justified. But like, do you know that it was a terrorist attack? Like that, we don't have enough information where I feel like could you assume that? Yes. Could you assume no? Yeah. I mean, it goes either way. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, if we had a definite definition of what he did, we could call it a terrorist attack. Then I'm saying, like, okay, then you moving to, okay, well, I'm about to shut down immigration, asylum, all that paperwork, everything's on hold till we get this together. Then I agree with that. Like, but if this is just some Looney Tune out there, and he lost his mind and he was just picking anybody in a uniform, right, then I don't think it's justified to do this mass immigration halt. Like, people have put in time and work, and
the uniform means something in this case, though. Like, he didn't shoot two random civilians in street clothes and they just happened to be Guards members. These people were in uniform. So I know we don't know.
I know that. I'm with you. I assume that them wearing a uniform has something to do with it.
Right. That's where I'm at. I'm
not positive if they'd have been if they wouldn't have got shot, if they would have been, any other uniformed officer, if they wouldn't have got shot at the same.
There's also been two other attacks in the last 2 days too. So there's three.
That's what I'm saying. Was he like F the government or F the man, F the people? Like, who was, what was his intention and his motive? That has a lot to do with it when you're labeling it terrorist, because of the mass sweeping that you're about to do. Because of that, as a result of that, that's what I'm saying.
They so badly want the mass sweeping.
Let me speak for a second.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
real quick.
So
go ahead.
Part of the issue comes down to when the halt started, the restrictions started. People. Like, I read a story, I can't remember the dude, but his wife was stopped coming into the country, right? Because he was allowed in because he had assisted the U.S. government. His wife was stopped. I think she's in Uzbekistan or someplace like that. Because all of those people from Afghanistan got put in other countries. When you look at the facts, like you're holding up the whole situation. You're holding these people in other countries. Dude's wife, he's gonna be angry that he can't be with his wife, right? So you gotta look at the totality of the situation. It's not just Trump's banning people, Trump's doing this, Trump's doing that. A lot of the bad press, the whole thing is being escalated because it's Trump. It has nothing to do with any of the countries, any of the situation. It's Trump.
You're
Most
absolutely
people,
right.
Well,
Well,
Trump's the one doing it. I
Yeah,
get
but
the
other
No,
details.
presidents have
no,
done the
that's
same
not the
exact
case.
thing as him, and they, just like the boat strikes in Venezuela, Obama
Well,
did the same thing, but nobody said a word about it when he did it. But when Trump does, it's illegal.
I
Obama
can't
did not
count the number of
did
times
not
I have
drone.
called Obama the drone king. So
Yeah, first of all,
that's
the
not
drone strikes
accurate.
weren't against quote unquote drug lords. They were
Yeah, I was
literally what they
gonna
labeled
say
actual
like,
terrorists. Although I had problems with his drone issues as well. You could find my old tweets about it. But the whole thing is that Obama was trying to kill terrorists, not drug lords, right?
And you
And
don't think drug lords are terrorists?
no,
So
they're
why
drug
is a
dealers.
drug lord
I
not a
do.
terrorist?
Did you see how many millions of people
I
have
got
died from
100
fentanyl?
That does
people
not make
died
someone a
in my head.
terrorist.
Yeah.
The definition of a terrorist is
I
someone
got
that commits
100
violent
people
acts
that
for a
died in my
political
head. I had
change.
to do CPR on them.
It's for political or social change.
This
Yeah,
would be a
so a
Social
violent
different
act,
term,
change
correct.
though.
is you
So
inundate a country with drugs and start killing their young generation with drugs. That is terrorism, in
so
my
so is the
The,
CIA terrorist because they put crack out on our streets?
You goddamn right. They should have never
the,
done that.
so we can
So
just
all
go
right,
kill.
so we can just go bomb the CIA? Is that what you're literally saying?
Back in the 80s, yeah.
the,
They
the
should have been.
fentanyl
I mean, you
doesn't
think they're not
come
doing it
from
right now?
Venezuela, but
Wow. Wow.
Hey,
See,
so
I'm gonna
I
say
am
this,
very
guys.
So
anti-drug,
here's
in
my
case you
question to
can't
you.
tell.
Here's
I'm
my
gonna
question
say
to you.
this.
I can't
All right,
remember
let,
your name. The guy. I think you have a bullshit on.
Me
V
or
V
Jesus?
no,
Oh,
V
V.
has it's the
it's Texans, and you can just call me V. Yeah,
It's V.
Okay, V. So let me ask you a question.
sure.
Straight up question. How many times in the last month have you done CPR on somebody who has overdosed?
Zero, and it's not relevant to this conversation, frankly.
Yeah, it actually is. Because I do CPR on somebody who overdoses about 100 times a month.
hi,
Damn.
I
Okay?
work in addiction and recovery.
You kiss a lot of lips there, buddy.
does
Kiss
that
a
Yeah,
does,
lot.
no,
does that
nope.
mean that those drugs came from Venezuela?
They didn't.
It doesn't matter.
No.
It very much
It does matter
matters
because if he says
to you.
doing CPR doesn't matter and you say it does, and then I say did the drugs come from Venezuela and you go it doesn't matter, and we're talking about killing people in Venezuela. Come on,
So,
if you can't hold the principles, I'll stand back. But if
so,
you're going to throw it out there and I swing at it,
so we gotta stop the drugs. I don't care what country they come from.
They're not coming from Venezuela.
They're
so they're
not.
coming from China. Like
well,
that's what I'm hearing.
let me ask
Right?
Mark a
Like,
question though. Let me ask
go
Mark
ahead,
a
go ahead, go
question.
ahead.
I
Mark,
actually agree. Most of the fentanyl is coming from China.
Right.
so let me
So,
ask you
but
this question, Mark.
But we have to stop every source, not just one. We have to target every source.
Venezuela is responsible for less than 10% of all cocaine and fentanyl. That's we're literally going after the minority person over
It's
here.
less than 1%, Vin.
Well, I'm talking cocaine as well,
Yeah,
not
So
just fentanyl.
hold on. Are we calling Venezuelans terrorists now? Or
That
we're
is
saying
what Jen is saying, and that
we're,
is what Mark is saying.
we're sending people on the
No,
boats
no, no.
for
I'm
terror.
not saying they're terrorists.
Are you saying
I'm
it's justified that we're killing those people from that country because they are drug dealers? Because in our very own country, you have to go to court. You get due process. You don't just get shot dead on the street because you deal drugs. So the principles of our country and what our country stands on, and the beacon that is supposed to be for the whole world, is that everyone is treated equally. Everyone has a fair trial. Everyone gets their day in court. If a boat leaves Venezuela, and let's say it's loaded down with all type of drugs, who's to say that it's coming to America? Who's to say that America gets to go blow up something in another country, another sovereign country? If a drug dealer in Florida, Miami, an American, gets on his boat and decides to just go out for a cruise, and Venezuela blows it up just because he's a drug dealer, do you think we would be like, well, it's all fair? Or would we rage war and send all of our troops down to Venezuela? Mark, that's a yes or no question. Give me one answer, yes or no.
no. And this is the justification, right? So, first of all, one of the statements you made was they were in the country, right?
In their country. These people are getting blown up in their waters, not ours, and theirs.
No. They are getting blown up in international waters.
Either way, that's not our place to. International isn't American water.
Wait.
You don't get to just do that. We're not pirates.
You can't go over to some other water and just say, "Hey, man," because you might end up over in my spot. I'm gonna blow you up before you even get a chance to get there. You can't do that.
I mean, that's just
Well, they supposedly have intel saying that it's coming this way.
So let it come. Let it come. When they get to the dock, get to the dock and they start unloading it, break your cuffs out and arrest them. All that blowing stuff up in the water with no evidence, that's wrong, Jen. And
I wouldn't even have a problem if they arrest them in international waters.
It's 100% illegal too.
Just don't kill them. Like,
yeah.
Why can't you just?
You can't arrest them in international waters.
I know they shouldn't. They shouldn't travel, but if they did, I wouldn't even be mad. But because at least they're going through some sort of due process. But they're just killing them. That is ridiculous. If you think they're if they're transporting drugs here, go and arrest them. Put a case on. Let's see the drugs. Let's see who's behind it, and then I'll be okay. Even though you don't even have 100% the right to do that, I'll be okay with it.
At the end of the day, we all know it's about oil. It's not about drugs.
Correct.
Can we go back to Ms. Gomez? Can we go back to Ms. Gomez?
I agree.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, you guys have got way out. Even though this has something to do with immigration, you guys have gone way off.
That was my fault. I apologize.
So I'm gonna bring us back.
Can we go back to Gomez?
Because I was just trying to get the terrorism thing because that's a big part of it. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're gonna use the terrorist tag, let's call it that, the terrorist tag, then you have justifications for your mass action. If you're not, but you have to know that that's a terrorist act. If we don't know yet that it's a terrorist act, like how can you have all this sweeping action if you don't even have that intel yet? So
that was the plan all along.
Right. So let's go back to that comment, right? Mm-hmm. So in 2023, Biden did immigration sweep in LA.
He don't remember that, but go ahead.
that
he was napping.
Swept up, I think it was 126 people.
Okay.
It's no different than what Trump is doing.
Theirs were plenty of outrage for Biden and Obama
100%
immigration
is
at
different.
actions
the
as well.
end of the
You're
day,
just not
at
connected
the
to it.
end
I
of the
never
100%
day,
heard
is
any
different.
outrage towards them for their immigration.
Yes, no,
issues.
you're just not in the right circles that would be speaking about that, because
See,
I am
The right.
Obama was called the deportation king. What are you talking about?
the
He was.
drone king.
There was literally articles. Yeah, he was called the drone
Yeah,
king. Look
I
at.
know, but they loved him for it.
No, we didn't.
I
Who's
never
they?
heard
Because
him
I didn't.
vilified for that.
I was yelling at
Dude, I
people. Were,
watched CNN back
I
then
think
all the
and
time.
CNN called him the deportation king because
Yeah,
he was
and they
deporting a
loved him.
shit
They
ton
thought
of
he was
people.
great.
No, they didn't. They
CNN
hated
called
him.
Pipe bomber a white dude.
What the fuck does
Like, CNN
the pipe
abuse.
bomber has to do with Obama, bro? We're talking about whether or not the Democrats actually disliked the deportation plans under Biden and Obama. And what Biden did is that he changed one rule, right? Like one of the rules that he changed was that he said, listen, what Trump did is he said, if you want to file for asylum, you have to file for asylum from your own country. You can't come here.
They can stay in Mexico.
Right.
Mexico
Right.
agreed to keep
Now,
them.
now the problem with that is that if you have a real asylum case, right? Like say if you have the government after you, you have the cartel after you. If you're applying for asylum, that means they're coming after you. You can't wait for 6 years to get your asylum record approved because you're going to die. So the whole point of the reason for asylum is to save lives. So Biden said that's inhumane. That's against international law. We will allow you to come here and then.
Yeah, and you know what everybody did? They made up claims of that they needed asylum.
I mean, that's typically what happens in every country. But you have policy. You have policies to do that. Now, what happened was you also had the COVID issue on top of that, right? You had the backlog of people not being able to do that because of COVID. So then you had a rush, and so Biden said, "Shit, there's a rush," and this is his fault. Where he said, "Okay, now we're going to just throw everything at it and to try to reduce that." So that was his fault. I'm not saying he was a perfect president at all, but I'm saying that's what Biden did, and people did not, and people did not like that methodology. What Trump is doing is that he's going back on what he said, right? So he said that he was going to target the criminals, the worst of the worst, the ones that are killing your grandmother, your sister, raping your daughters, etc. And instead, what he's doing is he's going after the gardeners, the people that work in nursing homes, the people that work at food plants, and you know he's simultaneously calling. It's not a lie. It's literally what they're doing. They're going to Home Depot, the place where people work.
Between 21 and 2023, the deportations, the incarcerations, detentions, however you want to, kidnappings, which is the common term today, they doubled between 21 and 23. How do you explain that?
I just did.
No.
I literally just did.
What you're saying is,
am I wrong? Did I just not explain the mass deportation effort under Biden on the rush? Did I not just go through that?
detention. We're talking detention.
Correct. You have to detain before you deport.
But
Correct.
the thing is, we're not talking about deportations. We're talking about immigration, like them coming in. He's halted all that. That's the subject of what we're at right now. And we started off with like, was that justified? Like, is he, is he justified in his actions? And now we're at the point. I'm just bringing you guys back on the ranch because you guys have. I got my sheepdogs and stuff to get you because you guys went way off the damn ranch. So we're back. So then we were discussing, well, it might be justified if it's a terrorist act because then that would be, taking action against, terrorism, which is getting, kind of out of control because of the immigration. So now that's where we're at. You guys keep veering off from there. That's where, like.
So I feel you, man. So
we're talking about is this the right thing to do? Okay, the terrorism is just a catalyst in our argument with either side, but we're basically trying to get to is, are we doing the right thing as a country? And I think that like the clip that I showed you in the beginning of this, what's her name, Valentina Gomez. That's a a microcosm of what's going on in this country. She was basically just repeating what she heard Trump say in my mind when he proposed the whole ban in the first place. But he's the only politician that we've let get away with rhetoric like that, just because he's Donald.
Well,
When you start letting, when you start letting, regular politicians spew that stuff on that platform, that's when we're getting out of control as a country. Now it's cool if she thinks that, but you can't, use your platform. You can't run for Congress on a, let's kick all the dirty Muslims out. Let's kill all the Muslims. All the Muslims are terror. Like that's 60s like that doesn't work right now. We're in 2026. Like
you can't run on that platform. We shouldn't elect people to run on that platform.
I've seen Donald Trump get elected. I have never seen anybody else get elected.
Well, and I think that's part of the
thing. I think only one that was pretty disgusting what that woman said.
You've seen Ted Cruz. You've seen Schumer. You've seen people make it on that ticket. Like they just be a little slick about it, but they do.
That's what I'm saying, Jesus. That's the point I'm making. Like there's no the way she came at it just like Don. He's the only one I've ever seen get away with play.
To be fair to Trump, my understanding is he don't even support homegirl.
No, he doesn't.
That's what I was telling Rashawn. I said she's the Vivek Ramaswamy. What's his name? Vivek Ramaswamy. I was like, she's just like him. Like the people she's catering to don't like her either. You don't.
By the way, Indians don't claim Vivek. Just letting you know.
Yeah,
okay.
But he was pandering to Trump, and he don't like him.
Yeah,
none of the Trump base even likes him or whatever vote for him, and he was pandering to him. Just like she's pandering to a base that you don't speak good English. Those people don't like you either. Like they want you gone just as much as the people you trying to get gone.
Yeah,
what is going on now? Like this is getting crazy. This reality TV show we're in called The United States is absolutely getting nuts. I'm just letting you know. That's why I led the show off with that, because that's where we're going.
She's obviously radical. She is weaponizing America and she's weaponizing Christianity, which just by her saying the things she's saying disqualifies her from Christianity, which I hope people understand there's a difference between Christianity and Christian nationalism. It's definitely on the Christian nationalism tip. She's a complete mess. And I guess my question, and this goes on both parties, like both parties have people that do stupid stuff. Why do you let someone into your party to run on your party's ticket that creates this kind of divide?
So,
why is that even a thing?
Yeah, we need less of people like her.
I think that in the climate that we're at right now, and what Trump has done as far as his rhetoric has allowed people like her to rise. You know what I mean? So like Trump, this isn't new for the Republicans right now. And Trump, I mean, Trump he's trying to end birthright citizenship. This man just dropped his new national security strategy, which is extremely xenophobic in my mind. It's called the Monroe document now. They make it a play off the Monroe document, but it's very, very xenophobic in my mind. I mean, his whole platform is based on this type of xenophobic rhetoric. And so that's why you have people like Valentina Gomez that feel emboldened enough to come out and speak like that, because she knows that she's going to have support. And I think it's all caused by Trump making this more in fashion, this talk. You know what I mean? So this didn't happen in a bubble or anything like that. It's been going on for a while now. You know, so it's just
even Sarah Palin was off the wall back in the day,
right? You know what I mean? But it's just getting more and more, like I said, emboldened, and we're going to see more and more of that going forward because they're not scared anymore. And you're seeing this all across the world. It's not just happening here.
Not the case.
What do you mean? I mean, okay, I'll listen.
Jen.
Yeah.
You're more my age.
Yep.
So you remember McCarthyism and the blacklist and all of that.
Yep.
This isn't new.
No, this is a repeat of the 80s. It's coming back around. Politics go in a
This
cycle
is
like
a
this.
repeat of the 70s
Yeah.
politics.
Yep.
How do you
How
mean? Can you
so?
explain a
Yeah,
little bit?
I'm
Well,
lost.
I mean,
So
McCarthyism was
in
the
the
60s and the
70s,
70s.
McCarthyism says it's from the 50s.
Yeah, that
Okay,
was
the
50s. The
50s.
Red Scare. That was
But
the
The
Red
it was
Scare.
GOP is
really, yeah, the
trying to
Red Scare,
McCarthyism, but
the
Yeah.
Red Scare, everybody was a commie and they had the hearings and the whole 9 yards. But I mean, even in the 80s, we were scared of Russia. If you were from Russia, Soviets, that was crazy. Um,
so
there was
I
countries
guess
that
I'm
were
not.
this is
demonized.
just
It's the same way it is now. There was, it,
it's just
I,
different countries.
I
yeah,
guess
I
I'm not
don't think
following
it's
how.
I don't think it's a
Different.
repeat. That's just the status quo. That's how we do stuff. We have to get you scared to justify when we go
Yeah,
over and
that's our
bomb this
government's chief
country and bomb
expert
right.
that.
here.
But that's
We've been doing
that's
that.
what I'm
That's the
saying.
same game plan.
This
It's
is the
not.
same. This is the same thing. It's always gone on. It's just a different. It's got a different face on it or a different name to it.
Yeah, but my
I guess
whole point of it is like as a country though, like I said, you can think how that chick thinks, and that's fine. And you can even get elected thinking how she thinks, but you can't like be on your platform like, dirty Muslims need to go, and I
I
don't
can't
like
say that at work.
darky. I don't like
Can't
darky,
say
and you can't do none of that crazy. Like you can think that in your mind all you want to.
Right.
You can get elected and be and then those have your views and that be your attitude, but you can't sit up on the podium and be like, let's put darky on a cross right now. Let's you can't do that. That's
No, I agree.
crazy.
I'm
I
agreeing
can't
with
say
you.
that
She
stuff at
thinks
work. Why can she?
she
I
thinks that
can't say
we're
that
at
at
a
work.
point
Yeah.
in the country because she watches our president do that all the time, and she thinks, oh well, if he does it, I can do it. And that's honestly what that is. He's the only person I've ever seen get away. Like you could come from another country and he could look, oh, that shit back dirtbag country that you guys don't even have running water, and like he gets all, and it's
I
I
got
mean,
two words for you. Chala.
what?
Super predator.
What does that mean?
she's talking about. Okay, I know what that is. She's talking
Super
about
predator. You don't
the
remember
Clinton.
that? A
Yeah,
whole
I know what you're
speech
talking
that
about.
Hillary Clinton made
Clinton.
about
Yeah.
black men being super predators,
What?
and look
we
where
don't like
she ended
Hillary
up.
Clinton.
What
Ain't
does
no
So
that
shame.
have
no,
to
I'm not.
do with
I don't like
anything
her.
I
I
don't know how
said?
you could equate super predator to
See, but
garbage.
and that's
Like
that
that's
that's what
not
I'm
even on
saying.
the same level.
But
Super
see,
predator.
like
She's
all
basically
that
saying that
was
all black men were rapists
right,
and
but
predators.
all
That's what she was
all that
saying.
was,
And
Jan,
look
was
where
this.
she ended up.
All that was,
No,
Jan,
all
was
I'm saying
it's the
is she's
super
not the
reflex
only
that you have
politician.
because I was talking about Trump. Like that's what you guys
Right.
do.
No,
And
Just
I'm
like
telling you,
just like
no,
he
Huge
ain't.
no,
acquiescence.
Hold
no,
on, hold on.
listen.
It is. I swear to God, it is
It's
because
not what
I
about
Hang on.
ism.
what
I'm telling you, he's
what
not
does
the
she
only
have to do with what I'm
politician.
talking about, Jan?
Because you're saying that Trump is the only politician that has ever been able to get up there and say stuff like that. Hillary Clinton used to say shit like that
And she
all
didn't get
the
elected.
time. She
but
was Secretary of State.
but the
Well,
point
that's
is,
not
she
an
was able to
elected
do it.
position.
Yeah, she
It's
was
not an
appointed
elected
secretary.
position.
She hasn't got elected for anything. Nobody votes her that. Nobody likes Hillary. So
She
you
was
could use
senator in
Hillary.
New York.
You could use
She got
Hillary.
elected in New York.
And
What are you
you
talking
think she
about?
won that? You think she won that on her merits or being part of the
She
family?
won it on her
you got-
name, of course.
Okay,
We
so
don't
like
like
let's not
her.
Straight up.
like
Straight up.
you
Yeah,
act
but
like
you're
she
letting
has
her.
all the
Answer the
You
support.
don't want to hear
You-
my point, so you're not listening. You're just
No,
letting
I
it
don't
go.
want you to
Let's
use
answer the
somebody
question.
Just
else.
let
I don't
let
want
me
you to use. No, because I teach my son. If you
because
do
I'm.
something that's on you, yeah, other people
But
could have
I
done
am
the same thing that you did,
disproving
but that
your
doesn't make what
point
you did right.
that Trump was the only
That's
one that
not just
did
proving a
that.
point because you're saying
Yes,
someone
it
else did
is.
it too.
Okay.
If someone,
All
if my
right.
son stole something and I tell him and he says, "Oh, well, Dad, everybody else was stealing too," does that make it right?
Apples and
No.
oranges,
You
buddy.
think I'm going to let him get away with that because everybody else stole, somebody else stole too?
No, nobody's
No,
saying
he
that.
was wrong for stealing. And that's what we're
Nobody's
going to talk
saying that.
about. Listen, hold on. When I'm talking to my son about stealing, we're not going to talk about his friends that stole. We're going to talk about him stealing. And that's all I
That's fair.
want you to do is talk about
Shallow.
Trump. Don't bring Hillary
But
in it.
you're
Don't bring
you're
Barack
talking
in it.
about
Shallow.
a,
Shallow.
you're
Don't
talking
bring
about a
Hillary.
politician in
It's a
Texas
natural
and
reflex
equating
to you
her to
guys.
Trump, and
Shallow.
I'm
I'm not,
equating
I didn't
somebody else to
equate.
Trump,
I
so you
didn't
don't like
equate
her.
anything to any.
So
I was
You
saying he
did
did something
too.
wrong, and you said, "What about?" That's
Shallow.
what happened.
Okay.
Shallow.
let me
If
ask
you
Ooh,
you a
that's
said
the
question.
first time I saw Chalo's nerve out.
It's
Right.
absolutely crazy.
Let me
I
ask
understand
Shallow,
it
you're
because
not.
it's habit. It's like it's a reflex. Like they don't even think
It's
about
not
it
a
when they do it.
reflex.
Hey, he
Who's
called
they?
her. He called
Who's they?
your girl Nancy. I said, hey, he called this lady Miss Piggy. Oh no, he was calling her name's Peggy.
And I said she was
What?
wrong. He
What?
did too. I said she was
What?
wrong. I called her out on that.
It's,
So who's
yeah,
they?
because it was her natural reflex to defend it, not even know anything about. She just made something up out the
Right.
blue of her
I
head
am not.
because
Right.
it's
No,
just
you're
natural for
mistaking
you
me.
guys.
Hey,
You're
she's not
mistaking me.
here to
I am
defend
not
herself.
defending
So
it. I am not
is she?
defending it
Shallow.
at all. I'm
She's not
telling
here to
you that
defend.
Trump
Right.
is not the only one that has
So
Well,
let
done
me
it.
ask you a
please
question.
That's
stop.
what I'm
It's on
telling
tape,
you.
bro. She
You're
doesn't have to
claiming that
Let
defend
me
Trump
herself.
is
ask
the
you a
On
only
question.
one
tape.
that gets away with it.
It's on
Let me
tape
ask
with
you a
like
question.
4,000
Okay.
views.
Okay. No,
So
it's cool. It's
okay.
cool. I got you. I got you, man.
Okay.
I got you.
Cool.
All right. No.
Let me
So
ask you a question.
But I just want to say this real quick. I do understand. I get where we're getting with the whole Trump thing, because we were talking about the Somalis and everything like that, and the fact that we don't hear a lot of people speak the type of rhetoric that he speaks, and we don't. You know what I mean? Like even with yes, I feel you on the super predator thing, because I was pissed off about that. I was extremely mad
As
about
you should
that.
have been.
But I think that I don't want to say it's a lesser degree, but you see Trump do this all the time. And just to speak on the Somalis, just to give you guys a couple of examples, he said that they contribute nothing. He called them garbage. He said they're no good, that their country stinks. I mean, this type of rhetoric isn't normal at all.
It's not
new.
good.
Right. And I just don't feel like that's something that we've seen in recent history until now. You know what I mean? That's what I think the difference is.
My point it's been going on for a long time. It's just might be a little bit more subtle. That's all.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what Charlo was saying. He
say
said you can think about it. Right. And I think that's kind of what Charlo was saying when he was saying you can think about it all you want. You know what I mean? But now they're just saying it. They're bold.
Yeah,
No,
dog whistles
my
were one
point
thing.
was they have been saying it. It's just in a more subtle way that it's not picked up and everybody goes crazy over it.
And that's his point, right? Dog whistles were the norm. They've been the norm since the 60s. But when you come out and actually say you are an N-word, right? There's a big difference. And that's what we're seeing now. When you have Gomez saying dirty Muslims, there's a big difference between
And
saying
that was
that.
a disgusting comment. For her
Right.
to say
And
something like
and that is Chalo's point, right? There's a distinct difference.
I got his point.
Right. But then you relate it to someone saying super
I
predator,
agree.
which is a dog whistle. And that is something that is, even then, was still somewhat,
We got to move on from this. I
respected.
think we all get it. I think we all got it. We all got it 5 times. One thing Ms. Gomez said that I thought was really out of pocket, and I think it's bad because people are going to start thinking this, is that Muslims have taken over Michigan and Texas. Muslims account for less than 1% of Americans' population.
Yep.
And how much of our government do they account for? It's even less. There's other countries that account for more in our government that don't have Christian views.
Mm-hmm.
But we're all worried about Muslims. The Muslims are the ones that are going to get us. My thing back to the original point of the whole conversation is the guy is from Afghan. So I would understand if they were like, hey, let's do some extra vetting on Afghan. How you throw 18 other nations into that, to me, is building this Christian versus Muslim thing. You've basically said all Muslims are a problem. We're going to vet all of them.
Well,
and that's where I'm kind of like, how do we, because I personally think we should have borders and we should have a process, but I'm also a Christian, so I don't believe heaven is segregated.
Right.
So I'm not going to be like, because you're on that side of that piece of dirt right there, you're not good.
Can I?
So I think there should be a process.
Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
All right. So with you're kind of highlighting here some of the speech around Muslim, the Valentina Gomez stuff, but B, like Muslim politicians. We have very few of them. And there is some pretty open rhetoric from the GOP with representatives saying, like, you should not be allowed to be Muslim and an elected official in the U.S. You can, I forget what the guy's name is, maybe Tom Cotton, another one that I can't stand. But this is open rhetoric, but you don't have any GOP members, and you don't even have any DNC members that are saying that Valentina Gomez cannot run for government based on her views. You'll have plenty of people, myself, one of them, saying you shouldn't elect that person, but she has the right to platform on those views. I don't like it, but she has the right. But you do have GOP members saying very openly that Ilhan Omar should not be able to run for government because she's Muslim, or that this person should not be run because they're a socialist or communist.
Mamdani,
Or
yeah.
plenty of
Mamdani.
yes, Mamdani is a perfect example as well. So plenty of GOP members saying you can't run for government based on this, but nobody's saying it about Valentina Gomez.
Yeah.
Does Sharia law have any place in our society?
No,
No.
I don't think that's. I don't think that's.
Absolutely not.
I think. Let me ask you guys this question: if you see a woman wearing I think it's called a hijab,
Yeah,
Hijab.
hijab.
Hijab, or a burqa.
that might make you a little nervous. But when you see a nun, do you get the same level of nerves?
There you go.
Neither of them make me nervous.
Neither of them really
Because
bother me.
Neither
to
of
me,
them.
I get what you're getting
to
at though.
me,
But
your
Yeah,
religious
some people
belief,
probably are, but yeah.
like if they come out and they're like, "Yo, we're gonna rewrite your constitution, and all you people have to live this way," all right, we're gonna have a civil war at that point.
Yep.
No one's doing that. These people are making this is America, the land of the free. They have freedom of religion. If their
I don't
religious
agree
practice,
with that.
if you don't, then you don't agree with. You don't have to agree with me. It's not even my opinion. This is the Constitution.
No,
The Constitution says you have the freedom of religion. That means if you want to practice your
because
religion,
there are multiple
ahead.
people coming out and saying that we're gonna rewrite. Mugabe from New York has said we are going to take over you.
Who's
he's
saying
never
that?
said that.
What?
He's never said that, Mark.
Mark, if you
He
can show me him
absolutely
saying
has.
that, go grab the link. Take 5 minutes. Go grab the link. Show us.
See,
I'm
it
happy.
really,
I'd
it
love to
really
see it.
doesn't matter what anybody says. You can't do
No, but
anything.
I'd like to
The
know
law
what he's
is
talking
law.
We
about.
have too many
Like
laws in place
this,
that will prevent that from happening.
this is how I feel about Sharia law. I think that if you want to practice that willingly, then that's fine. If you want to worship the devil, have at it. As long as you abide with the laws of within the laws of
Right.
our country, then that's fine. If they want to cane you, if Sharia's law says you did something that you should be caned for, and you don't want to be caned, then you don't have to be caned because that's not the law in this country. But if you want to follow with the laws of your religion, you got to take the caning. And I mean, they can't make you though if you live here. I feel like you got that choice. Like either you go down with your religion, or you break ties with them. It's your choice. But you
That's
have
it.
that choice.
I think
That's
a lot of
have
people
that
get
choice.
confused
You
because
can have that choice though. I don't think we even got to interfere with it. Like if you don't want to do it, bro, come on out of it. You know.
I think a lot of people get confused because the word law follows Sharia, but it's not actually what Sharia law
Right,
is. It's not
yeah, I
a
understand.
governmental law, right?
It's
But
a
well, it's not just for your benefit. Look, I'm just saying, like in general, it's just rules of that religion, and so people of that religion should follow those rules. It's the same thing of what Christianity or Hinduism or whatever it is. All it is saying, hey, if you're a member of this religion, these are the rules you should follow. It has nothing to do with government systems, but yet a lot of people, xenophobes, think that Sharia law means that it's going to take over the Constitution or take over and that it literally has nothing to do with that. They're just getting weirded out by the word law next to Sharia.
Yeah, it's
I
their
think
religious
that,
belief.
and when people bring up, go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry. I'll go ahead, brother.
So, Mandami's father, Muhammad Mandami,
Land the plane.
right? An academic.
Did he run? Go ahead.
Land the
The
plane.
person who taught him his life. I'm a father, I'm a grandfather, right? So when I teach my children, I teach my grandchildren, I teach them based on my beliefs, right? That's the way every parent, grandparent does. When you teach your children a certain way, that is how they're gonna act in their
My
life.
father wanted me to be a deer hunter, and I do not hunt deer.
Okay.
Right. Like what's the are you saying his dad was
Mhm.
radical, so he's
Land
mayor
that
now
plane,
going to
Mark.
take over America and be radical?
So I think what
So
he's referring, Mark, correct me if I'm wrong. So what you're referring to, because I heard about the controversy, his father said something about how he had a book called Good Muslim, Bad Muslim, right? And that's where he said that a suicide bomber should be equated with a soldier rather than an act of terrorism or something like that. There was a lot of controversy for that. Is that what you're referring to, brother?
yeah. So like you have to look at the totality of the situation, not just part of it, right? So Mandami says, "Oh, we're gonna give free bus rides, but this, that, like Trump, Rashawn, you gotta admit that a lot of the immigration, which is what we're talking about tonight, a lot of the immigration issues are no different than when Biden was in power, Obama was in power. The same shit happened, right?
Well, I think
But,
that people
but,
got
but,
deported under. Go ahead.
but, because it's Trump, even though the same stuff is happening, because it's Trump, it's a bigger deal.
Well, I think it's
When was
how
the
it's
National
happening.
Guard?
You
When
know
did
what I mean?
Obama and Clinton and Bush? When
It,
did they put the National Guard on the street to arrest our own citizens? I don't remember that.
yeah,
And then also,
it's
So the National
significantly
Guard isn't on
escalated.
the street to arrest citizens. The National Guard is on the street to protect our federal officers. That's the difference. They are
right, but
not
we
there to
From
make
who?
arrests.
Who are they protecting the federal officers from?
Like that's a show of that's a show of intimidation, in my opinion.
This is actually when you guys were supposed to go all 2A and fight the government, but
Right?
yes.
Like this is
That's
when the
what
don't
that's what
tread
the
on
Second Amendment
me's
was
are
all
supposed to
for.
go get them.
this is, you guys are supposed to be mad that the military is invading our cities. This is the thing that, like, the further right has been hollering about happening for a long time. Is just like armed federal agents like invading cities. But now that it's happening to immigrants, you guys are like, fuck yeah, great, let's do this.
No. Like,
Yes.
like,
Well, the National Guard's in D.C. to help make that city safe, and it has. I'm in D.C. all the
let
time.
me tell you
and
something.
I'm
Let
happy
me
to see
tell you.
them there. And Obama did it. Bush's did it.
All right, but
Multiple
again, we don't like
presidents
Obama.
Biden
We've
did it.
established that there's
Because it's
14
illegal.
deaths
That's
together.
probably why they didn't do it.
Who? Who didn't do it?
Obama and whoever else.
Obama did it.
They
Where
all
Obama
did it.
did he
deployed the
put the National Guard at? Where?
For immigration enforcement.
Atlanta,
I thought we were just talking about
LA,
him bringing immigration to cities.
Atlanta.
Yeah, we're not talking about
LA,
ICE officers. We're talking about National Guard.
No, National Guard.
Where?
Obama.
Obama did that?
Atlanta,
Where?
LA.
He did. Hold
and
on, I'll tell you.
LA. And
He used National Guard for
2023,
border security. It's
National
called
Guard
Operation
was
Phalanx and
deployed.
disaster response, which is normal.
All right, but we're doing the but Obama. We're rewinding.
I mean,
We
I mean,
always do, bro. We always do.
it's fine if she actually has a place where he did it. He didn't, but I wanted her to show that he did.
And I did.
My point when you do that,
Where?
though, like if the
He
other
did it on the
person did
border.
it and it's
He
wrong
deployed
too,
the National Guard on the
doesn't
U.S.
make a
border
point.
for immigration.
You equated Washington D.C. with the
I'm
border of Mexico.
talking about-
Yeah,
Like-
it's a little different.
it's for
You
safety.
again, if you're going to give an example that's relevant to the situation.
So
the
so
National Guard being
I think
deployed to protect
The border is a foreign
Law
country.
enforcement.
It's not against our own civilians.
The border
bro.
is
It's not
the
a
United
foreign
States.
fucking
It's not a
The
foreign.
border
country.
between Mexico.
What
Are you talking the
part
border
don't
of
you get?
Mexico? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the border in Texas and Arizona and California.
So Mexico, right?
No, Texas is not Mexico.
The
Where are
United
they on the border of?
the United
Where on the border of?
You-
and
you-
Mexico.
Our
So
side
the,
of the border.
No, you're trying to. I'm not. saying
I'm not
anything.
trying to do anything. I'm telling you that
Okay.
what he did is he sent troops to the border to against
The
Mexico.
border in the United States.
I didn't say he invaded a country. I said that he was on the border of fucking Mexico.
Oh my God!
V, you got to reel it in, brother. You got to reel it in.